Welcome to the Readout, Episode 2, powered by Informaq, brought to you by SpinSphere. I'm Simon, your host, and this is the Readout for the week of the 23rd of May, ending 1st of June 2026. So over the past 9 days, we've had just over 10,000 clicks, 10,010 clicks. That's covering 78 countries. Bluesky is carrying 7,914, so the bulk of our readers are consuming their information from Bluesky. The rest will be across our other channels like Facebook and LinkedIn. One of the major headlines of this week is Quantinuum is filed for an IPO, and I believe they're going to be going on NASDAQ in the next day or two. Been looking at my portfolio of quantum computing companies, and I think it's doubled just in the past 3-4 months. IonQ's been up there with some pretty high prices recently. Xanadu has been a bit volatile, but it's been quite interesting to watch those stock prices if you are following the financial side of the quantum tech space. So yeah, welcome to episode number 2. So just some of the major numbers this week. We had 627 qubytes. Qubytes are the little bite-sized summaries of quantum insights that Informaq brings to you from quantum technology spaces, covering quantum computing, quantum sensing, quantum meteorology, quantum sensing, networking, anything to do with quantum technology. We aggregate, summarize, and deliver these qubytes to you to the private and public channels of your choice. We covered 15 languages. We've broken it down into 495 topics of research, 130 news items, and 2 new patents. Right, looking at the top reads, broken down into research, news, and patents. One that I found quite interesting was this paper released by Simranjit Singh Dahi and Claudia Sezabo. I apologise for bastardising those names. And the paper is titled Quantum Advantage in Multi-Agent Reinforcement Learning Through Entanglement. Now, I have not gone through the paper in detail, but if we click on View Original Source, we can see it's a preprint on arXiv, and they were using something called QML to prove quantum advantage in using VQC circuits, and that showed some quantum advantage with multiple agents in something called a CHSH game. Now, this is something I've just started looking up on, so I'm not going to deep dive into this paper in particular, but it is quite interesting. So if you want to find more, jump into this paper. And as expected, the Honeywell backing the quantum IPO has hit the news, coming in at second though. On the news item this week, Qtrex targeting $72 billion quantum market with novel 3D architecture has been the news article with the most number of reads at 36. And on the patent side, coming in at number 1, we have a quantum dot array chip with parameter optimized control architecture by some Japanese inventors. Right, moving on down to the topic landscape. The topic landscape is where we, during our analysis of our qubytes, we categorize and add hashtags to the qubytes that we distribute. And as expected, quantum computing is sitting there in the middle. Adjacent to that, we've got this week quantum simulation, quantum error correction, quantum algorithms, quantum sensing, quantum information have been garnering most of the attention in the news. One little one that popped up today was quantum gravity. I'm not sure exactly what research article that's talking to, but there's probably something out there that has been talked about regarding quantum gravity. And so you can see we cover quite a wide range of quantum tech related things, from hardware to photonics, quantum networking. So yeah, this little diagram here, these little bubbles, just gives you an indication, a bit of an infographic as to what hashtags have been trending the most. giving it some numbers, quantum computing was leading at 69 qbytes, and quantum algorithms and quantum simulation were tied in second place at 50 each. Following that, there was quantum sensing at 35 and quantum meteorology at 22. As I was saying, moving down to panel B, top sources for the sources where we aggregate our insights from. arXiv is where we get all our preprint research papers from, and that is always at the top at 495. News-wise, we've got Quantum Computing Report, Quantum Zeitgeist coming in almost equal, with 40 and 38 news articles over the past week coming in separately. And a little improvement that I did this week to the top bylines. If you click on these authors' names, they now actually take you to a Google search, so you can actually makes it a bit easier to find out exactly who they are. This fella, Muhammad Abdel Karim, I believe he was number one last week as well. And if we Google search him, it takes us to LinkedIn, where he is a quantum intelligence and data expert at GQI. So there we go, Muhammad Abdel Karim. Congratulations on being the most mentioned byline 2 weeks in a row. And this week, Ivy Delani, I believe it's his first time in second place. And we've got Mohammed Shafiq coming in at third. For some reason, this byline, quantum computing technology, is not a person. That's something I'll look into. But at the bottom of the list, we have a bunch of Japanese names. They might be related to the patent that we saw earlier on. And moving on down to Global Pulse, where we give you a bit of a breakdown by country. Like I was saying earlier, we've got 10,010 clicks from 78 countries. That breakdown is 7,914. Nearly 6 times Reddit's, Facebook's, and LinkedIn. Bluesky has the most. Reddit number of engagements there was 1,322. Facebook 463. LinkedIn 268, and Telegram 43. I personally am using Telegram. Not only can I view the public channels that we've got there, but I also have a private channel where you can use the feature inside Informaq to select exactly what quantum tech topics you're interested in, and you can get qubytes catered specifically to that. You can also have them sent to your personal Slack or Teams or email. So that's a great way to curate the information that Informaq aggregates, summarizes, and analyzes, so that you don't have to go through the noise of everything. Like if you have no interest in modalities and hardware and only the finance, you can get information just on the finance. My particular area of interest is post-quantum cryptography and algorithms. So that's kind of where I've got a lot of my personal qubytes configured and coming in from. But coming back to the Global Pulse, in the United States, the Honeywell Backs Quantinuum IPO that came at number one with 6,842 clicks, and likewise this was on Bluesky. Singapore was the country that next had the most number of interactions with Informaq this week, 652 clicks, and the top article there was AQT's LYNX series achieves European record quantum volume of 32,768, which I see the author here is Muhammad Abdel Karim, the guy who got the number one byline. That may indicate some bias in the way our algorithm is sourcing and aggregating, or not aggregating, but sourcing and analyzing things, so I will look into that. But anyway, it's interesting to see the worldwide pulse, as we have here number 3. Germany comes in with 564 views, and their top story was a post-quantum cryptography article talking about an OpenSSL configuration bug that was undermining post-quantum cryptography migration. And I realized this is actually linking to an article that I posted, which is not, it is not me finding the bug itself. This was me summarizing some reports that I'd been reading, and I was posting an article on our KSEC blog. KSEC is the quantum safe security solutions that SpinSphere provide. I'm focusing at the moment here on New Zealand companies, as PQC is becoming quite important. A lot of readiness audits and migration plans are underway, and I found this article, which was actually sourced at... It was talking about how AWS had recently added PQC support for protecting your secrets. And if you want to read more of the details about the support that Amazon have added, and also the actual CV, the link, the bug that was found in OpenSSL 3.5. If you had the default in its group list, then the PQC, the FIPS 204, I think it is, or the MLKEM quantum cryptography algorithm was not actually going to be working properly. So that was a bit of a fundamental bug. I'm sure we're going to be finding lots more of these as various companies and institutions go about testing and migrating the various PQC solutions that are being worked on around the world. Coming back to the global pulse, France was the country in 4th place with 249 views, and their top link was also Qtrix targeting $72 billion for quantum market with novel 3D architecture. I won't go over every other country, but we also have some activity from Finland, United Kingdom, China, Russia, Canada, and Vietnam. So thank you to everybody in those countries who have been hopefully enjoying the information they've been getting from Informaq. This is the end of the Readout, episode number 2, ending the ISO week 23 in 2026. This is the beginning of June. Lots of interesting activity going on in the markets, and we'll come back to you next week with the latest stats and trends in quantum tech. So stay informed with Informaq, and you can sign up and have your curated personal insights for quantum bite-size information at informaq.spinsphere.xyz. Thank you. I'm your host, Simon, and we'll see you next time.